1896 there. Not sure what bank that was, but Carson City Saloon, another place that you'd have a pretty good lineup out the door on a weekend night. Mike and Tony's here. Gyros, if you want to call it that. It's really gyro, but nobody says that here. So I think that there's only room for one Greek place in the Southside. It's not the immigrant, you know, destination it once was, so you're not going to really get away with as much ethnic food. Pizza obviously sells, but the reason I'm saying that is this place up here, this La Bodega Tacqueria that I visited before, used to be a Greek place. I don't think it existed for very long, but it had gyros and stuff similar to Mike and Tony's. It just, Mike and Tony's brand loyalty is just much different, so you're not going to really knock them out. This cross 15th, between 15th and 16th now. This is Mario's and Blue Lou's. So established 1982. I don't know if that Mario has anything to do with Mario Lemieux. I think it certainly probably helped keep it in existence, because people probably think that. Mario Lemieux wasn't even drafted then, so maybe it was named something else and they changed it, but who knows. This was a bar that it's visited by a lot of college students. Duquesne is just over the Monongahela River into Pittsburgh, so there's a lot of kids from Duquesne University that'll come here and, like, you know, do their partying a little bit. Oakland, maybe you'd have some Pitt students here too, but Oakland has a little bit more stuff going on in Oakland. So yeah, like I said, Duquesne students do come down to the South Side. Duquesne students, even off campus, they live here. They'll live in the South Side Slopes. That's the neighborhood. It's just south of here. Here it's flat, as you can see, because we're near the river. That's why a lot of the steel mills and stuff located here. You got easy access to water for shipping, but the Southside Slopes is a kind of tumultuous type situation with a car and snow, but you know, it's the reality of living here. There's decent houses there now. There's a lot of real estate developers that make places pretty nice. It's not as aged as one may think, but Blue Lou's used to allow smoking up until very recently. Like, this was after the smoking ban, like I think around 2008, 2009, when smoking really became vilified, as it should be. People started banning smoking in restaurants and bars, and it was one of those places they had some caveat rule where they sold more alcohol than food, and they somehow got around the law that you had to ban smoking. So they had it in Blue Lou's and non-Mario's, and these are all 3-floor bars, so they're super popular. They can fit a ton of people in there. Again, I don't know how they did it. Local. When local first opened, the food was great. It's still good, but it really was like local sourced, where now it's just the name. Local's owned by the same person that owns Foxtail. Foxtail used to be called Easel for the longest time. And in the alley used to be the Cambodican Express. And this space here, so next to Sky Bar, this used to be an alley. So you can see, like, this building's been here for a while, and so is this one. Of course, this has too. This used to just be an alley, so this has been built into a building. I don't know what actual physical address that is, but over there on the corner of 17th and Carson is the Cambodican Kitchen. That used to be a food truck that existed right in this alley. So this, I could probably look that up and find out. I'm guessing that was within the last year or so. So that was built recently, and like I said, it was the start of where that Cambodican Kitchen got his foot in the door down on the South Side to become a place that, you know, really people came to go. It was a place people would go to a lot of times after the bars, but there'd be people lined up there at any popular time down here, because it was street food, and it's a lot of teriyaki type stuff. There's other, like, tempura shrimp, tempura this and that. They served a lot of things with like a hoisin sauce. I believe he calls it moon sauce. So it's like a brown sugar based thing where it's a little bit savory, a little bit sweet, and you dip all your fried and cooked stuff in there, and it's good. And then it's a little sad here. This is the Rex Theater. This is closed. Has an order of condemnation on it. This is dated for actually pretty recently, so 2 months ago. It says unfit for human occupancy, unsafe structures. That was a long-standing theater down here too. I believe it actually had the Moth storytelling come through here once a month. That's, if you don't know what the Moth is, it's a thing you have to apply to be in, but it's a nationwide storytelling event where they have a theme and people just, you have no script. You can't go up there with notes. So it tests the reader's storytelling ability on the fly. And then now we're getting towards, I'd say, as things start to get a little bit more commercial, there's more franchises up here than there are here. Like, this is a little bit more locally owned. Like, there's a Jimmy John's up here. There's a Get-Go gas station. There are a couple more banks. So it starts to become more about that. Down here in this way, this is all pretty much privately owned stuff. If it is owned, by multiple, if their owner owns a couple businesses, it's no further than that. So 18th Street is kind of the border of this part, but it still really continues on to 22nd where the Birmingham Bridge is. The Calma's been here for, I want to say, at least 20 years. It's like a popular brunch spot. Brunch and after work, sake, sushi, light food would be popular on the weekends. There's the Cambodican Kitchen, as I was talking about before. There's a great trail on the south bank of the Monongahela River. You can ride it all the way, I think, all the way to Washington, D.C. It's a great Allegheny passage, but for, at least in Pittsburgh, you can take it out past our water park. It's called Sandcastle, to like Homestead. You could continue, obviously, if you wanted to, past that, but it's great. It's paved, it's easy to access, it's wide enough where you're not really concerned with hitting other riders. You can rollerblade, run, obviously, if you wanted to. I bike it. So I'm gonna wrap this up here in a second. 18th Street is kind of the street that I'd be careful on. There's a gas station here that is unfortunately sometimes involved with a lot of like crime. I'm not gonna go to 22nd. I'll do that another time. There's a Get-Go that always seems to be getting robbed. I don't know why, but it's just like, it's in the news a lot. So 18th Street also continues up to Carrick. So you can take this and you can go to Carrick, Mount Oliver, Belts Hoover. You can weave your way up to those neighborhoods. Those are city neighborhoods. And like I said, there's, this is where it starts to open up a little bit more. It's not all chains, but it becomes a little bit more commercial as you keep going east, especially towards the Southside Flats. Last kind of bar worth mentioning here is this Fathead Saloon. It's been here for a very long time. It has one of those beer walls where there's like 100 some taps, so they have every probably beer you could ever think of or want to try. Probably not enough time to try them all, so that's that place. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's it. Call it a day here. And October 5th 2021, Southside Pittsburgh.